This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
I welcome in Kyle Yourmans of DallasCowboys.com. We just mentioned the doubleheader this weekend, Kyle. You've got, of course, the Cowboys hosting the Patriots, the Southwest Classic. I'm guessing you got a full slated weekend ahead, don't you, my man?
Yeah, it's never a dull moment around this organization, especially with as many events as we have on tap. And certainly excited about a good Saturday slate. I've got two games on Saturday that I'll be going to. So it'll be the triple dip this week, going to two college games, and then got the big one on Sunday against New England.
What two college games you going to?
So I'll go to the AT&T Stadium. I'll go to the Classic, of course, with A&M and Arkansas. But then I'm a graduate of the University of North Texas, and they play ACU at 6 o'clock. So me and my wife will go to Arlington in the morning, kind of stay for that game, and then as soon as it's over, we'll get in the car and we'll go to Denton, Texas to watch that one.
Kyle, we got a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans listening. What happened on Sunday? I mean, I had several friends that picked them in their Survivor League, and they were disappointed. I mean, Arizona, not exactly just a dominant force. What happened in Phoenix this past weekend?
Yeah, well, I think it was a number of things. I think overall it was late in the week injuries that provided for a deflation of a team that had a ton of momentum. I mean, Trayvon Diggs goes down on Thursday. Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, Tyler Biadasz all ruled out because of injuries from late in the week as well. For the most part, this is a team that was headed in the right direction and really heading in a historic direction if you looked at what they did for the first 2 weeks of the regular season. But then you turn around and now you get a gut punch like that against a team that was just hungrier than you were. I mean, Joshua Dobbs, the quarterback, the Cardinals had plenty of injuries as well. They went in and looked like a team that was focused and determined to win that football game, whereas the Dallas Cowboys looked like a team that might have been looking ahead a little bit to Week 5 and looking ahead to San Francisco. I know the offensive line did an okay job. They were missing 3 starters, but they did an admirable job protecting for Dak Prescott. But it was the secondary that was questionable. It was the run defense allowing 222 yards. So you can't blame it all on that. I think this was just an all-around team loss where Mike McCarthy took the blame for it. And I think certainly this coaching staff should take the blame for it because that team was not the same team you saw in weeks 1 and 2.
So how much pressure does that put on that Week 5 game? Well, and really 4 with the Patriots. I mean, you can win the next 2. Does that right the ship and kind of correct the error with the Cardinals?
Yeah, I think it does because right now this is a game that when you look back and you're going into, let's say, December, January, you're fighting for playoff positioning, you're fighting for the division. You're going to look back and say, man, we should not have dropped that game against Arizona because that's one that on paper at least you should dominate and you should have. But they didn't. They didn't have that same sort of success with Arizona and the way that they should have on paper. I think you're right. I think it's a combination of the next 2 games. Maybe the next 3 are going into the bye week. If you go into the bye week 5-1, it takes the sting away a little bit more of what this looked like and what this game was. But if you lose to San Francisco, you even lose to New England, the best case scenario going into the bye week, you're 3-3, and that's not what the expectations would have been for this Cowboys team. So for the most part, yeah, I think the pressure's on from here on out to go at least 4-2, maybe 5-1 into the bye week and feel good about this football team because anything else under that would be a very much so a disappointment.
So give us the fan expectation is, it's a Super Bowl team and, this is a Super Bowl or bust kind of year with this defense. Give us a sense, being around the organization. I don't know that they always lay that stuff out, but what's the sense you get and what the season expectation is? What's acceptable for the Cowboys this year as far as playoff run?
Yeah, you're right. They don't normally put it out there, especially saying Super Bowl or bust, but they have this year. They have that same sort of expectation for themselves because of the talent that they do have on both sides of the football, not just that defense, but you added a playmaker in Brandon Cooks. You hopefully have your offensive line back and healthy at some point this season. So you feel really good about this team. And they talked about it in training camp, where there was plenty of times where they looked at it and said, this is a team that wants to win a Super Bowl or has to win a Super Bowl. I think something that would be short of that would be acceptable, would just be getting to the NFC Championship game. I mean, that's an improvement upon the last 2 years. And you look at Mike McCarthy and what he's done in his 3 years as a head coach. He had a 6-win season in 2020, and you win 12 games, go to the wild card in 2021, win 12 games again in 2022, and then you end up in the divisional round. So he's had improvements every single year. You could either go back to a NFC Championship game for the first time and win 12 wins, maybe even 11 wins if you drop one more, and you still feel really good about this team. So I think that's the number one thing right now, is to try and right the ship and feel good going into the bye week. But certainly the long-term expectation is to get to a championship game or potentially a Super Bowl again.
Kyle Yourmans is with us on the McCarty Daniel Hotline, DallasCowboys.com. Kyle, you referenced San Francisco. Is that the best team in the NFL, or is there another team that has stood out through 3 weeks of the season?
Yeah, that's tough. I think San Francisco is the most complete team right now. At least they're playing like it. They look dominant. This is a team that has every level of offense, every level of defense, and I think the one question going into it was whether or not their quarterback was good enough to take them to the right situation again. And Brock Purdy has looked fantastic. Takes care of the football. He gets it to the weapons. He can make every throw on the field. He is in a great spot right now, I think, to really make a fantastic leap in his career. I think the second best team right now is Philadelphia, and then there's a significant drop-off to the second tier of teams. And I think Dallas is at the top end of the second tier. I would have put them in the first tier outside of last week. I think last week was one where it kind of knocked them down a peg, and I would have put them right there with San Francisco and Philadelphia. Maybe Kansas City was in that same echelon, but I think now Kansas City's probably down in that second tier as well, with Dallas and Buffalo, some of these other really good teams, but just not as good as what Philly and San Francisco are showing right now, which I think is concerning because, you've still got Philadelphia twice on the schedule. You get San Francisco one time, and you're going to get them on the road in prime time. So that's going to be a huge test in Week 5 to try and get it done. But San Francisco looks just as complete as anybody. And they may be the best team right now in the NFL as long as they keep rolling in the same direction. Because I would have argued that Dallas was up there as well prior to last week.
Could you argue Miami might belong in that conversation? Hanging 70, you don't see that every week or every year even.
Yeah, no, I think I would throw them at least maybe in that Tier 2 conversation. I don't know if I could bump them up to Tier 1 yet, but yeah, you're right. I mean, Miami, goodness, the speed they have on offense is crazy. You look at, I think it's like 5 of the top 7 players in the NFL in terms of like top speed in these next-gen stats, top speed reached are Miami Dolphins. 5 of the top 7. That's just unbelievable, the type of motor those guys have. And, yeah, to put up 70 points was incredible, and that was even with Mike McDaniel kind of taking the foot off the gas pedal a little bit toward the end there. But they were still able to do it against that Denver team. There's a lot going wrong in Denver, too, man. I think for the most part they're struggling as well. Sean Payton showing that maybe he wasn't supposed to be so confident going into that situation.
Yeah, it really ripped Nathaniel Hackett prior to getting this season. Well, Kyle, we'll leave it there, man. I know some people are excited about this weekend that are making the trip to your neck of the woods in AT&T Stadium. You got a full slate ahead of you with 3 football games this weekend, so you enjoy yourself, and hopefully you see an Arkansas win, a North Texas win, and a Cowboys win this weekend too.
I like that idea. I appreciate you guys having me. Hopefully that comes to fruition because I think all 3 teams could certainly use a big-time win.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.